Good afternoon, everybody. That worked. Wow. Very good. Welcome to February's edition of the Resident Town Hall meeting. And honestly, it's going to be it's pretty light fare today. There's only a few of us presenting. Jerry Griffin's out of town, so it's a good day to not be him. So if you have questions for him, I'll just direct them all over to him. He can answer you when he gets back. But we'll do the best we can. With that being said, then we'll kick off with our opening prayer and the pastoral care update. So, Pastor Elliott.
Cool. I like the woman's hands you got up there. Okay. All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's good to see you today. Let us begin with prayer. Father, we open today giving you thanks and praise for the beauty of this day and this beautiful winter weather that we get to enjoy here in Central Florida. At this place that you have established and now maintain, we call the Haven. We ask that the work of our hands this day be acceptable in your sight and that you would continue to be glorified as you bless us and continue to sustain us here. Help us now in our meeting so that we might see all that is going on, all that you are providing us, and that we might continue to glorify you and give you thanks. This we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, pretty straightforward for me today. I got just a couple additions, but of course the first slide is always worship, right? So to remind you, if you're new here, you get to see all the services that are St. Luke's. The big change, of course, is for this month is because it's a new month. We have a new date set for the afternoon divine service. It's the 27th at 1:30 p.m. If you find it hard to get around and you can't make it to the Haven service at 9:30, you're more than welcome to come to the afternoon divine service at 1:30 over at the church in the chapel. And, of course, there's always food afterwards also. So you kind of get a late lunch along with it. It's a nice thing. Ash Wednesday is coming, and you see the services there on the screen, I'm hoping. And 1, 2, 3, advance. There we go. All right. The 8:40 a.m. in the sanctuary with the schools, so that's going to be a pretty crowded one. There is communion, so that's going to take a while. Okay, but we obviously offer you to come on over here to the Harbor Hall where we worship on Sunday morning. We're going to have another Ash Wednesday service there. We still have the same preacher, the vicar's preaching. And if you have trouble driving at night and you'd rather come to a daytime service, we certainly encourage you to come on over to the Haven Harbor. We're setting up for 100, so we have room. We'll have chairs. We'll find a place for you to sit. Come and worship. Of course, Bible studies all continue to go on. The one thing here I have is that Vicar Eddie is continuing through the end of Epiphany, which is a couple more weeks before we start Lent with Ash Wednesday. And I haven't had a chance to come over and observe Eddie yet, so how's he doing? He's doing great? Okay. Well, I'll make sure we put that on his report. All right. Well, that's good feedback. I'll let him know that you all approve. I encourage you on Monday afternoons at 1 o'clock, go on over to the Landings Parlor and take in the Bible study there. Pastor Joe Fairchild likes to do things topically, and he has a lot of fun with it, and I'm sure you would enjoy his manner and the way he attacks subjects. So take a gander at that as well. The next item up for auction, I'm just kidding. Pastor Arp is retiring. Of course, you all know that. March 2nd is his last official Sunday. Pastors never retire, right? So he's preaching in all sanctuary services. There is a combined sanctuary service at 11, so there is no fuel service. All the folks in fuel we're inviting to come on over for a combined service at 11 a.m. There will be communion at that service. And, of course, a short tribute to him, and then a reception in the gym afterwards. So we encourage you all for that. There'll be lots of food. And in the events section, we have the summer mission trip we're holding up again. We're looking for a few more volunteers to go to Latvia to do an English camp. If you're a teacher, we encourage you to come. Believe it or not, you work hard on this trip. You get to play a little bit, but you also get to work hard. So if you're up for it, we encourage you to sign up. We're also looking for some piano players on Monday and Tuesday mornings over at the harbor in the galley for devotions. If one of you or two of you would like to help on Monday or Tuesday morning. And as far as I'm concerned, if you can make it once a month on Monday or Tuesday morning, that's an improvement. So we encourage you to come and play. Just give me a ring and let me know. Now, there's one thing that didn't make the list here that I wanted to alert you to, and that is the 28th of February is the Florida, Georgia Lutheran School Music Festival. It's being held at St. Luke's. It's St. Luke's. So we encourage you to come on over, sign in, get a badge, because the school will be in operation, right? So you got to have a badge, so you're technically signed in. And then you're welcome to sit and listen to all the music groups. So we encourage you to come on over on the 28th of February. I'm sorry that's not on the list here, but I wanted to make sure that we announced it. I'm sure it'll be in the announcements at church as well, just in case you miss it here. And if you have any questions, please, of course, call me. Now, with that being said, are there any questions? Yes, Ruth. What time is that? It's all day long. All day long. The music festival starts all day long. I'm sure it starts probably around 10 or so. But I don't have those details. If you call the office, they might. I think they're still working on all the details. One moment, Dorothy.
I am confused about the term combined services. Does that mean all three of the regular services or would be one?
No. Okay, the question is she's confused about the combined services. What that means, it means at the 11 o'clock time slot, both services that normally go on at 11 o'clock will be in one place at 11 o'clock, and that's in the sanctuary. Does that help you? Yeah. Okay. Yes, Dorothy? Dave and Barb concert, I'm not sure what you're talking about, so no, I did not mean to include that. I'm sorry. Can you tell us more about it? Lori will tell you? Okay, that's good. No, Lori won't tell you, so maybe you better tell us. Are you up for it?
I don't know that much about it.
All right, well, maybe you can tickle some ears.
I don't know that much about it. They've been around for a long time, touring, and it's a religious concert.
Do you know what date?
Friday.
This Friday?
I think so.
This Friday? It might be this Friday. Well, we're going to have to figure that out. Maybe if we get it figured out, we'll get it on the scroll. Dave and Barb Anderson farewell tour, 11 o'clock Friday. This Friday? This Friday here at the Haven. All right, in the Harbor Hall. Be there, be square. All right. That was certainly a Lori thing. Yeah, well, sorry. She's not here. You are. Any other questions I might be able to field? All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Lori, come on up. You don't know anything either. Well, that makes two of us. Together, we ought to get a lot done today.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I just want to show a couple pictures from our Taste of Tampa that a group of us went to a couple weeks ago. There were 21 of us, and you can see the whole group right there, getting ready to take off. We put a lot of things in 2.5 days, so you can switch over to the next one. We did the Manatee Viewing Center, where we saw a whole bunch of manatees. We had lunch at the Columbia restaurant. We went to the Tampa Bay Museum right after that, checked into our hotel, had a nice dinner, got up the next day, went to Sunken Gardens, and then we went to an iconic restaurant, which was called El Cap's Restaurant, which I thought was really, really good. I wasn't sure. I didn't hear a lot of feedback on that one. And then we went to the St. Petersburg Museum of History. Then we went to the St. Pete Pier. And then the next day we get up and went to Tarpon Springs. We went on a Spongerama cruise. We were guaranteed to see dolphins, but we did not. It was a little windy that day, so they weren't really out, so we didn't see them. And then our last stop on the way home, we stopped at Russell Stover Chocolate Factory, which everyone kind of loaded up on chocolate and ice cream, and it was a good time. We are looking into doing a couple more trips like that, just a couple days. So I'll put more information out there once we do all the research. Yes? Oh, we did see a launch on the way back. She said plus the launch, yes. Okay, just a reminder, tomorrow, chili cook-off. Everyone is invited. You don't, just because you didn't make anything, you can still come, you can taste, you can vote on all of the chili that we have. We have 6 entries so far. There may be 2 more. So come on over, vote for the best traditional chili, the best tasting, and the most unique ingredients. There will be prizes for those that are on the top. So tomorrow, here, Fellowship Hall, 1 o'clock. Our birthday luncheon will be at Poblano's Mexican Grill, which it's about halfway full right now. So if you're interested in that, there's still room to sign up. That will be Friday on the 28th. And then on March 4th, we'll have Shrove Pancake Tuesday. Everyone's invited, 9 a.m. here in Fellowship Hall. We'll have probably sausage and pancakes and juice and so on and so forth. And then starting in March, we will have a St. Patrick's Day party. We're not going to have it on the 17th because there's something else going on, but we'll have it prior to on the 14th of March from 1 to 2:30 here in Fellowship Hall. Feel free to bring your adult beverage of your choice, but we'll have other food and drinks for you as well. And then lastly, our Washington DC group tour is still going on. We have about 45 people going right now, and we have room for a few more. If you're interested, just let me know. Anyone have any questions for me? Okay, I'll turn it over to Stephanie. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to be quick today. I just have one new introduction, and they are, unfortunately, I don't think they're here, but we have Gerald and Bonnie Callaghan, new residents at the Landings, and they moved all the way from Castleberry, Florida. But interesting fact, they're both from Louisiana, New Orleans. So, yeah, that's it for me. Anybody have any questions? All right. Next up, David.
I left my eyeglasses in my desk, so I'm going to have a hard time seeing my own notes. We do have a few things to bring up today, though. The first one, the primary one, is that we've made an adjustment in the hours of the operations department. We've been operating from 7 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon, and then obviously if you have an emergent situation, you can call the on-call. Going forward, it actually started this week where I have adjusted the guys' schedule from 8 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon. And the mindset behind that is that it'll help us be a little bit more efficient with getting things done. The majority of the times, the residents, you prefer that we don't come knocking on your door at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? So there's an hour of time that the guys take advantage of that time to do things around the shop or work on golf carts and so forth. But I just found that it would be better for the residents, for you all, if we take that hour and push it kind of like the daylight saving times thing and utilize that for being productive and helping you getting your work orders resolved. So hopefully that'll help us expedite some of the work orders also. So going forward, it's from 8 a.m. until 4:30 in the afternoon. And then if you need to, obviously you got an emergent situation, go ahead and call the emergency line or the concierge and they'll get the on-call operations guy out there. Any questions about that? Pretty cut and dry. I just wanted to mention also about the street light on the end of Chipmunk was finally 4.5 months later repaired by Duke. It was out, I don't know, the beginning of October or something, and I put in work order. Some people think our work orders are bad. Duke Energy, it took them, until last week to get that light going from back in October. So we're grateful for that. I know some of the residents on Chipmunk are happy about that. And over by the carport, just as you get onto Chipmunk, there's a carport over there. We replaced the fence that was at the end of that little dead-end street there, or the driveway. We put some yellow bollards out there so that it's a safety matter. So hopefully, I don't want to say what could happen, so it doesn't happen. But they're up, and that's good. The last thing I wanted to mention is, I think anyway, and I didn't really hear otherwise, the vent cleaning process that we did went very well. And I want to thank all of you for cooperating with that. You made your homes available, and the vendor was able to get in and get out, do what they had to do, and we were able to do the entire community in less than 2 weeks. So, and that includes the landings building. So all of the apartments in the landings, all of the cottages. It didn't go perfectly, but it went really well. So I was very grateful for that. Grateful to all of you for making your homes available. Having said that, what we're going to do now for the air conditioning filters and the batteries and so forth, I want to try modeling that. We're going to start doing that same concept where we're going to have all of the guys go into one area at a time, and we're going to start that the first week of March. They're going to go in and do your filter, do your batteries. If it's necessary to blow out the lines, they'll do that also, and make sure that happens. I'm going to instruct the guys to make sure that you all sign off that they were there. So we've done that before. For whatever reason, it didn't work too well last time, but the time before that, it worked great. So I want to go make sure that happens again, so that we are as efficient as possible, and hopefully we can get everything done within 2-3 weeks at the most. We might not be as efficient as ABC, but we're going to try. Any questions about any of those things? Yes.
Now, Sunday, sometime during the morning, both elevators on the landings were not operational. That puts a burden on anybody on the second floor who's got a walker or a wheelchair.
Yes, that happened. And so her comment was that the elevators and the landings went down for a short time on Sunday morning. It was Sunday morning. And the way I understand what happened was it was acknowledged. Concierge called the on-call emergent number, and he came right in, and I believe he had it up and running by 11 o'clock. So it was down for about an hour, a half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. And yes, it does create a challenge, but sometimes things break down and they got to be repaired. So whatever caused it, we believe it was a power surge. But like I said, the operations guy, the on-call guy, came in as quick as he got the call and got them up and running again. He had to reset them. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, the same thing stopped the pastor's sermon on
Oh, it did?
Sunday in the sanctuary.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the problem.
Raleigh wants to know who was preaching. Yeah. There you go. Pastor Elliott was preaching. Okay. Yes.
Years ago, the operations fellas used to carry a brush with them, and when they changed the filters that cover, they would brush the dust off of there. They don't do that anymore.
Okay.
They have no way of cleaning that.
Yep. So she mentioned that years ago, the operations guys, when they came around to do the air conditioners, they would brush off the door and the access to that, because yes, it gets dusty. So I'll remind them of that also when they go over there. they can bring a portable vacuum cleaner or whatever and do what they have to do. So that's a good comment. Anybody have anything else? Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, in regard to the filter and the batteries, they were to do the drain lines. Are they gonna do that, continue to do that? They never even did mine the last time they were out. And that could prevent a lot of future air conditioning problems if it's not kept clean.
Right. So his question was, are they going to blow out the airlines again? A summary of it. Yes, I'm going to remind them to make sure that they blow out the lines, the condensation lines, because those can gel up and clog up and so forth. So yes. Yes.
Kind of in connection with Dorothy's question, it used to be the air filter changed every quarter. Are they still changed every quarter?
So the comment was that the filters used to be changed every quarter. We're trying to do that, Paul. Yes, it hasn't been perfect, I acknowledge, but we're trying to do that once a quarter. Yes. Yes.
Anything, has somebody been notified about checking my leak in my bathroom?
She was asking about a specific work order for her her home. I'll look into that. I didn't see the work order system, so for that specifically, but I will. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. Okay, that's all. Raleigh's next.
Thanks, Dave. All right. Well, so a few project updates. Last time I spoke to you all about the awnings. Remember I was saying that we're going to take the current awning over here and put it on the outpatient therapy gym doors over there at the harbor, and then we're getting a new awning over here that will extend out to the street. Yes, that is in process, but the lead time on that was 12 to 14 weeks. So we're halfway through that process right now. So it's still coming, all right? There's a lot of things. For instance, the handrails I told you about, they're in process too. Lead time on the handrails. All right, I'm telling you what the reality of what we deal with is, all right, so that you know that it's coming. I know the comments, Haven time, right? Exactly. The lodge refurbishment. So I spoke about that last time. So we're getting ready to paint the interior of the lodge this upcoming Monday. That's when that starts. So we vetted the process. Got actually a better quote than we did the first time. So they're actually starting that on Monday. There's a phasing plan that has to go along with that because of the nature of that building. But they will be starting that. And then in conjunction with that, we've obtained the quote for the flooring and signed off on that. So when the painting's done, the new flooring will be going in. They're going to be rearranging the front lobby to make it more user-friendly and whatnot. We're also in the process, next week we'll be going through the processes for adding an automatic door opener into the courtyard area for people to get in and out of the back courtyard a lot easier as well. But that entails where we need to run the electricity from, what kind of components we need for that as well. And then on the last part of that, which is not up here, is we're trying to give our staff a break room over there too. They don't currently have a break room like some of the other facilities do. And so we're looking to create a space for them to have a nice rest area as well. So that's all going on. We imagine this is going to take at least a couple months to get through, especially with the flooring. When I talk about the flooring, we're talking about the front lobby area and maybe a couple of common areas. We're going to be redoing the flooring in the rooms themselves, but kind of like what we do over on the old side of the harbor is we wait until a room comes available and then we change the flooring out. And that's really particular over there because we don't have a lot of space. And when you have a lot of people in single rooms, you got to double up sometimes, and it's kind of a logistical issue. So that's coming forth but that's about to kick off this upcoming Monday, finally. All right, church channel. It's been a bugaboo for a lot of us, hasn't it? A lot of hiccups in our system on that, and I just want to address that. We're very much aware that there is an issue with the church channel. A lot of times on Sunday morning, sometimes the church service gets interrupted. It's fuzzy. You can't hear it. This last weekend, I didn't hear anything about the church service itself, but apparently the concert series on Saturday didn't come through very well. And so St. Luke's IT department and our IT department are working together for a long-term fix. We got some short-term solutions, but they're Band-Aid fixes. And here's where I'm going with that. St. Luke's a couple years back changed their method of how they deliver their service. All right. And so they live stream everything. Well, we've got some old infrastructure here, and our infrastructure doesn't play nicely with the streaming service. So we're trying to figure out how we get around that in the short term to continue to be able to provide for you, but we're also working on a long-term fix that will solve it permanently to where you get a nice clear channel coming through for whatever they're streaming over, okay? So just be patient with them. Nothing's easy. It's the Haven, all right? You know how some of these things go. Look how long it took me to build the mailboxes. That's all I got to say. All right, so here's my hot topic for the month. Address scams again, because I had 2 in the last month that I have been dealing with constantly that I don't know if any of you have dealt with, but they've come in text message forms. One is the USPS, and the other one is the toll authority. And almost twice a week, one or the other, I'll get this text message from the USPS. We're holding a parcel from you, but we need to validate your address or ask for. The post office doesn't text you. I can't even get them to pick up the answer the phone down there. They're certainly not going to text you. Okay? I promise you that. So don't fall for that scam. Don't give them any information. The other one is the toll authority. They try to model themselves as if they are actually the Central Florida, toll authority. And the ones that I've been getting are, you have a toll violation of like $6.14 on this date. Well, I was never even down there. I was out of town, And not only that, but then they want you to click on a secure link and pay it. Don't fall for it. All right? I promise you, those places, even nowadays, if you're on a toll road and you don't have one of those transponders in your window or whatever, it's going to capture your license plate and it's going to send you something in the mail. And then you'll know it's legit. But don't fall for the text scams. They're getting more and more creative. I promise you. Nowadays also too, going back to the email stuff, if you get emails, it happens periodically, especially in our Haven emails, where it'll get something, and it'll be from Jerry or Michael Ray. This is internal, right? And it'll show, sometimes when somebody who's known to you email comes through, it just gives their initials in a circle, and it looks legit, all right? And it'll say, hey, I need to talk to you about something. I need you to transfer money. Well, first of all, they know full well that I have no access to the funds, okay? So I know that that's wrong. But secondly, sometimes if you question the email address, just click on the icon up top where their name is, and you'll find out real quickly that that's not their email address. It's somebody in a hot spot over in India or China or something. That's an easy way to tell a phishing scam. But they're just getting worse. They're getting worse. The phone calls are getting worse. And so, the same thing I tell my parents, and I just told my mother-in-law this over the weekend, who feels like she's got to pick the phone up every time it rings. If I don't recognize the number, I'm not picking it up. They'll leave a message, and then you can find out, okay? I say, why? Normally I would have this talk around Christmas time, because that's when all the scammers come out, is the holidays. But they're just getting more and more bold as we go forward. And I know that we've had people on this campus who have been scammed over the years as well. And I care about you. So I just want you to recognize some of the things that I've been up against the last 2 months so that you don't fall for the same thing. I didn't fall for it, but I just want you to be aware, of what they're after. All right? So guard yourself. Protect yourself. Don't answer it. Yes? I'm going to come to you.
If you're traveling, beware. 2 things. I have a reservation for the LWML convention. I got an email from supposedly the hotel to confirm dates, and the dates were wrong. And I just said, this doesn't look right. So I called the hotel directly and talked to them, and they had the correct dates and everything. So, there was a screwy email back behind that, and I just deleted it. The other thing is when you're traveling, there's another thing going on now that somebody will call directly into the hotel and ask for a certain room. They don't know who you are, but they ask for a certain room and tell them you're having trouble clearing your booking. Can you just verify your card and your number for us one more time? Don't do that either. If that happens, just go right down to the desk. But yeah, don't give anything over the phone.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's not just with hotels or any of your travel arrangements. The other thing that I've noticed too, because this happened to my parents, is health scams. Right? Getting insurance companies calling them all the time, asking for information as well and saying, oh, well, there's a lapse in your health care plan or something like that. Or they've gotten mailers that look real, and it's been something false, right? So you really have to learn how to discern and just keep your ears up. If it sounds fishy, smells fishy, looks fishy, it probably is fishy, all right? So, and if something happens to you, don't hesitate to reach out to one of us. We can get a hold of the sheriff's department as well. The presentation that the sheriff's office did a few months back dealt with a lot of those things. They have a whole designated unit in Seminole County that deals with elderly crime or any kind of scams as well. All right. So just be on guard, because even though it's not the holidays, they're working hard to not work. They're trying to take your savings. Yes.
Now, not I, but my mother is getting a lot of calls from people who want her to sign up for the health plans. Even though it's not open season anymore, they want her to change her health plan. So watch out for that too.
Exactly. Always got to be on the lookout. So let's see. Was there anything else I had up there? No. Yes, Bruce.
I can talk pretty loud. What is the story about the red brick driveway out there?
Okay. What's the story about the red brick road? Okay. That was a Rotary project. What they wanted to do was they wanted to create an outdoor space so that if we had events or we wanted to have an outdoor sitting area, we could. And when I talked to them in the beginning, I said, I would like you to use pavers that are actually can hold up with, or I guess they're called parking grade pavers. I said, because you cannot eliminate any of our parking spots. And they said, okay. So they got a crew out a couple weeks ago. Now, I also met with them afterwards. They're supposed to be coming back this weekend, because I said, well, you got some fixing to do. It's uneven. You got some dips in there. It sits that much higher than the asphalt. You need to, get all that in. So they're actually coming back to fix some of that. But that was the intent of it. And what I'd like to do is see how well that holds up over the next year or so. And if that actually works, then I don't necessarily know that it has to be that kind of paver, but a different kind of paver that we can use in the rest of the parking lot and eventually get rid of the gravel.
Is that something we're being charged for?
Nope. That was a project that they did for us. So didn't cost us a penny. All right. Other questions? This is just opening the floor up to any kind of questions. Yes.
I don't know whether it's our door that's to the courtyard is still not working. When was that first ordered?
The door to the courtyard in the Lanings building not working. Dave, you want to address that one? That's okay. I kind of know what's going on, but he's the man that knows more than I do.
Sorry, Dave.
That's okay. So Dormica was out. They looked at it. There's parts inside the big component above the door there that have to be replaced, so they had to order them. But they were out. Yeah, probably from China. Who knows? But yeah, they've got to order those parts. It's just, and I spoke with him about the motion detector, the sensor, so that we can move that over too. So when they come back, hopefully we can address that also at the same time. So that's that.
Thank you, Dave. Other questions, comments, concerns? Yes.
I've noticed that door number 3 doesn't want to work well when it's wet outside.
David? Linda said that door number 3 doesn't seem to want to work when it's wet outside. Door number 2 as well?
Every once in a while, door number 2, I go to get in there, and you hear it click, and it won't open up. And if you have to do it about 3 times, then you can pull it open.
Okay.
It will open up, but I've had that happen. I didn't mention it because it's so intermittent that.
All right. So, David, you're going to put that on your list for door number 2 and door number 3 at the landings to see what's going on with them. Yeah, door number, what's behind door number 1? Jeannie, the concierge, right? Other questions, comments? Yes.
Do they pressure clean our driveways?
She wants to know about when they're pressure cleaning the driveways. Is Patrick coming? Is Patrick coming around still? Okay. Yes, he's in the process of doing it. Do you know what section he's in right now?
He was over on
Okay. He's currently working his way around Outer Circle. So he will eventually get back there. But now remember, years ago when we had a full outdoor crew, we had more people doing the pressure washing. There's only one guy doing it now. So he will eventually get back there. Okay? All right. Anybody else? All right. Well, have a wonderful rest of your month.